Hey folks, welcome back to Doki Doki Literature Club. So, it's been a couple days since I recorded. I had a summer cold that I was fighting my way through. My voice might be a little scratchy for this episode, but it's time to get back to recording and time to get back to this story, which just took a very interesting turn. Obviously, last time, Sayori hung herself after we refused to declare her our love interest. And after that, the game ended, and we found ourselves back out in the Metaverse Enterprise Solutions developer portal, where we located a file, traceback.txt, going over the error, where we saw there was some sort of error, and then we see this exception message. Oh, geez, I didn't break anything, did I? Hold on a sec. I can probably fix this, I think. Actually, you know what? This would probably be a lot easier if I just deleted her. She's the one who's making this so difficult. Well, here goes nothing. And when we return back to the game, we see that Sayori is sort of... Her picture on the title screen has been kind of corrupted and replaced with one of Monica. Very, very odd. Uncertain what that means. And we can't start a new game. Or actually, I don't know what happens if I click this, so I will click it. The music's all messed up, and the text is all messed up. This girl is, and then Sayori's name is deleted. My neighbor and good friend since we were children. Wow. Okay. And then the game resets, and a different, I think this is different text than what we originally read comes out. Mornings are the worst. Being surrounded by couples and friend groups walking to school together. Hold on. Let me... If I go to the main menu... Okay, so now this says new game. What happens if I... Oh, all my saves are deleted. I was gonna try going back into the save slot right before Sayori died to try to choose a different option and see if that saved her, but we're back in here. So I guess we're playing a new game. All right, let's see what this one says. So this will be a very different playthrough, I think, if Sayori's been deleted. I guess we'll just start playing the game. It's an ordinary school day like any other. Mornings are usually the worst, being surrounded by couples and friend groups walking to school together. Meanwhile, I've always walked to school alone. That's different. That's been changed. The text of the game has been modified. I always tell myself it's about time I meet some girls or something like that, but I have no motivation to join any clubs. I'm perfectly content just getting by on the average while spending my free time on games and anime. There's always the anime club, but it's not like there would be any girls in it anyway. The school day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. After I pack up my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs. There really aren't any that interest me. Besides, most of them would probably be way too demanding for me to want to deal with. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Josaway? Monica. So another glitch. Originally, that was supposed to be Sayori, but Monica appears to have replaced herself into this situation. Very, very strange. Interesting what's happening now. I'm very, very intrigued. So let's continue and see where this goes. Monica? Oh my goodness, I totally didn't expect to see you here. It's been a while, right? Yeah, it has. Monica smiles sweetly. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talk, but we were in the same class last year. Monica was probably the most popular girl in class. Smart, beautiful, athletic. Basically, completely out of my league. So, having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little... What did you come in here for, anyway? Oh, I've just been looking for some supplies to use for my club. Do you know if there's any construction paper in here? Or markers? I guess you could check the closet. You're in the debate club, right? About that, I actually quit the debate club. Really? You quit? Yeah. To be honest, I can't stand all the politics surrounding the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. In that case, what club did you decide to join? Actually, I'm starting a new one. A literature club. Literature? That sounds kind of dull. How many members do you have so far? It's kind of embarrassing, but there are only 3 of us so far. It's really hard to find new members for something that sounds so boring. Well, I can see that. But it's really not boring at all, you know? Literature can be anything. Reading, writing, poetry. I mean, one of my members even keeps her manga collection in the club room. Wait, really? Yeah, it's funny, right? She always insists that manga is literature too. I mean, she's not wrong, I guess. And besides, a member's a member, right? Did Monica say she? Hey, Josue. By any chance, are you still looking for a club to join? I mean, I guess so, but... In that case, is there any chance you could do me a big favor? I won't ask you to join, but if you could at the very least visit my club, it'd make me really happy. Please? Well, I guess I have no reason to refuse. Right. So we, the actual player, have a very good reason to refuse. There's some creepy shit going down. One of the girls who suicided has been deleted from existence. Deleted from the game, destroyed. It's kind of a weird thing because the story, within the framework of the story, it's very upsetting what happened. But if you remove yourself and put yourself like one layer of abstraction out, it's just a character that's been deleted, right? By another character, possibly. And so, like, no actual real person was hurt, but in game, the avatar, the protagonist, would be really upset if he could remember what had happened. But the protagonist was reset when we started a new game, so the protagonist doesn't remember anything. So there's this weird dissonance between what the protagonist knows and what we, the player, know. And it's very interesting. It's a very interesting emotional landscape that they're setting up here. Like, there's already a little bit of tension here because we know, but he doesn't. Okay. So anyway, well, I guess I have no reason to refuse. Besides, how could I ever refuse someone like Monica? Sure, I guess I could check it out. Ah, awesome. You're really sweet, Josue, you know that? It's nothing, really. Shall we go then? I'll look for the materials another time. You're more important. And thus, today marks the day I sold my soul to Monica and her irresistible smile. So, in the first playthrough, we sold our soul for a cupcake, was the story, because Sayori brought us in, and then Natsuki had some cupcakes. But now the line has changed. I sold my soul to Monica. Very, very upsetting that, because we think that she's behind the recent events, recent changes. Behind her friendly smile and cheerful, positive attitude lies what appears to be a cruel and capricious murderess, at least in terms of destroying another character. Like, it's not exactly murder. Depends whether the other girls are AIs as well, but I don't think they are. I think they're just scripted, but I could be wrong about that. Let's proceed. I dejectedly follow Monica across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit. Monica, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. Whoa, what was that? Who? That didn't look like Sayori. But she's overwriting parts of the story with herself. Okay. I'm back, and I brought a guest with me. Hey? A guest? Seriously? You brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere. Don't be mean, Natsuki. But anyway, welcome to the club, Josue. All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. So, let me guess. You're Monica's boyfriend, right? What? No, I'm not. Natsuki. The girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes her look like a first-year student. Anyway, this is Natsuki, energetic as usual. And this is Yuri, the vice president. So Sayori's not the vice president because she's been deleted, and now Yuri is the vice president. Oh man, this is getting really interesting. All the changes from the first playthrough, what she's had to do to rewrite the story, is really interesting. It's nice to meet you. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with someone like Natsuki. Yeah, it's nice to meet both of you. So, I ran into Josue in a classroom and he decided to come check out the club. Isn't that great? Wait, Monica, didn't I tell you to let me know in advance before you brought anyone new? I was going to... well, you know. Sorry. I didn't forget that, but I just happened to run into him. In that case, I should at least make some tea, right? Yeah, that'd be great. Why don't you come sit down, Josue? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. Yuri walks to the corner of the room and opens the closet. Meanwhile, Monica and Natsuki sit across from each other. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Monica. So, I know you didn't really plan on coming here, but we'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the literature club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. It must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new, especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, Natsuki? Well, I guess. Natsuki reluctantly agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monica must have worked really hard just to find these two. Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot in the middle. You keep a whole tea set in this classroom? Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you to enjoy a good book? I guess. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. Huh? That's not... Insulted, Yuri looks away. I meant that, you know? I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. So Josue, what kind of things do you like to read? Well, considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga? I mutter quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me. And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. Oh, I read a horror book once. I desperately grasp onto something I can relate to at the minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. I'd expect that from you, Yuri. It suits your personality. Oh, is that so? Really, if a story makes me think or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. Ugh, I hate horror. Oh, why is that? Well, Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second. Never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? Well, you left a piece of scrap paper behind at the last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called... Don't say it out loud! And give that back. Fine, fine. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Huh? Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? No. Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Not a very confident writer yet? I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Do you have a writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. I guess it's the same for Yuri. We all sit in silence for a moment. Hey, I just got an idea. How about this? Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monika. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then, next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. I thought it was a good idea. Well, I think you're right, Monika. We should probably start finding activities for all of us to participate in together. I did decide to take on the responsibility of vice president, after all. I need to do my best to nurture the club as well as its members. Besides, now that we have a new member, it seems like a good step for us to take. Do you agree as well, Josue? Hold on, there's still one problem. Huh? What's that? Now that we've reached the most important topic, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join this club. Monika may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and, I lose my train of thought. All three girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. But, I'm sorry, I thought, The girls exchange glances before Monika turns back to me. I guess I need to tell you the truth, Josue. The thing is, we don't have enough members yet to form an official club. We need 4. And I've been trying really, really hard to find new members. And if we don't find one more before the festival... I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? I would feel terrible for letting everyone down in this situation, and... Besides, the club itself seems pretty relaxed, so... If writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls... Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up. Oh my goodness, really? Do you really mean that, Josue? Yeah. It could be fun, right? You really did scare me for a moment. I mean, if you really just left after all this, I'd be super pissed. Josue, I'm so happy. We can become an official club now. Thank you so much for this. You're really amazing. I'll do everything I can to give you a great time, okay? Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share. Monika looks over at me once more. Josue, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monika with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri cleans up the tea set. I guess I'll be on my way then. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow then. I can't wait. With that, I depart the club room and make my way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the 3 girls. Natsuki, Yuri, and of course Monika. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. All right, I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. You have unlocked a special poem. Would you like to read it? Hell yes. A dream. I was wandering an abandoned warehouse at night. I was lost, looking for an exit. I just wanted to go home. I came upon a huge, empty room, its ceilings and walls beyond the deep blackness. My steps were quick in order to hurry to the other side or to a wall, anything. Suddenly, the ground was no longer beneath my feet. I stepped into a hole of indeterminate width. I fell for a good 5 seconds before crashing into warm water. Figuring out which way was up, I surfaced myself. The air was humid, and the sounds of my splashing reverberated endlessly. My vision was completely swallowed by the dark. With one hand, I could feel the damp metal wall of the container. My lungs were already getting tired. Not sure what to make of that. So, it's time to write a poem again. And we really can only choose between writing for Yuri or writing for Natsuki. I do feel like this time around, we should hone in on one girl. We should focus in on one girl and see where that takes us. And we've already had some close encounters with Yuri. So I think for this playthrough, even though it probably means she'll get killed, which is unfortunate, but I don't think we have a choice there with the way this game is playing. I think we'll focus on Natsuki on all the poems in this playthrough. So we'll just get anything we can that's cute. Friends. Strawberry. Let's see, what's cute? Fireworks. Sparkle. Bouncy. Heart. Shiny. Let's see, what else is cute? Very few of these things are cute. So we'll go with peaceful? Yeah, we couldn't help it. Fluffy. Giggle. No, candy. Special? Puppy? Play? This is another one where most of these words seem like they could be for Yuri. Maybe blanket? Okay, blanket works. Bubbles. Cute. Parfait. Boop. Kitty. There we go. All right, so we got 19 words for Natsuki there. We'll see how this plays out. Hi again, Josue. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Whoa, what's going on with Yuri's face? What was that? Thanks for keeping your promise, Josue. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. What's happening? The negative image there. At first, that was only happening to the remnants of Sayori within the story, but now it's happening to the other girls, too. Alright, let's keep going here. Oh, come on. Like he deserves any slack. You already had to be dragged here by Monica. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what. But if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. This is interesting. She's in front of the text. This says something like, Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in the club room. Yeah, and the music is changing key. Natsuki's upset here, trying to say, Monica. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga. Manga is literature! Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. I'm sorry, Josue. We'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay? Yuri shoots Natsuki with a disappointed glance. Anyway, now that you're in the club and all, perhaps you might have interest in picking up a book to read. Well, I can't really say no either way. Like you said, I'm in this club now, so it only feels right for me to do something like that, if you ask. Wait, I didn't mean it like that. If you don't really want to, then forget I said anything, I guess. No, it's not that, Yuri. I want to be a part of this club. So even if I don't read often, I'd be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to. Are you sure? I just felt like, well, as vice president and all, that I should help you get started on something you might like. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. And the music has settled down again. It lowered key and slowed down. What is going on with this game, man? It's a short read, so it should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. And we could, discuss it. If you wanted. How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki's rummaging around in the closet. I hear Natsuki utter an exasperated sigh from within the closet. She seems to be annoyed by something. I approach her in case she needs a hand. You looking for something in there? Fucking Monica! Okay, this is a bit weird. She never puts my stuff back in the right spot. What's the point of keeping your collection organized if someone else is just gonna mess it up? Natsuki slides a bunch of stacked books and boxes across the shelf. Manga? You read manga, right? Sometimes. Manga is one of those things where you can't admit you're really into it until you figure out where the other person stands. How did you know, anyway? I heard you bring it up at some point. Besides, it's kind of written on your face. What's that supposed to mean? I see. There's a lone volume of manga amidst a stack of various books on the side of one of the shelves. Curious, I pull it out of the stack. There it is. Natsuki snatches it out of my hand. She then turns to a box of manga and slips the volume right into the middle of the rest. Much better. Seeing a box set with one book missing is probably the most irritating sight in the world. Yeah, I know that feel. I get a closer look at the box set she's admiring. Parfait Girls? It's a series I've never heard of in my life. That probably means it's either way out of my demographic or it's simply terrible. If you're gonna judge, you can go do it through the glass on that door. She points to the classroom door. Hey, I wasn't judging anything. I didn't even say anything. It was the tone of your voice. But I'll tell you one thing, Josue. Don't judge a book. In fact, Natsuki pulls out the first volume of Parfait Girls from the box. I'm going to show you exactly why. She shoves the book right into my hands. I stare at the cover. It features 4 girls in colorful attire striking animated feminine poses. It's exceedingly Mo. Don't just stand there. Natsuki grabs my arm and pulls me out of the closet. She then takes a seat against the wall beneath the windowsills. She pats on the ground next to her, signaling me to sit there. Wouldn't chairs be more comfortable? I take my seat. Chairs wouldn't work. We can't read at the same time like that. Huh? Why is that? I mean, I guess it's easier to be close together like this. Don't just say that. It'll make me feel weird about it. Natsuki crosses her arms and scooches an inch away from me. Sorry. I didn't exactly expect to be sitting this close to her either. Not that I can say it's a particularly bad thing. I open the book. It's only a few seconds before Natsuki once again inches closer, reclaiming the additional space while she hopes I won't notice. I can feel her peering over my shoulder, much more eager to begin reading than I am. Wow, how long has it been since I read the beginning? Hmm? You don't go back and flip through the older volumes every now and then? Not really. Maybe sometimes after I've already finished the series. Hey, are you paying attention? I am, but nothing's really happened yet, so I can talk at the same time. It looks like it's about a bunch of friends in high school. Typical slice of life affair. I kind of grew out of these since it's rare for the writing to be entertaining enough to make up for the lack of plot. So there's our unlocked Natsuki CG. She's excited to be reading manga with us. We've tapped into her interest. I think we triggered this by writing the poem for her. So I feel bad for what's probably going to happen to her as a result, but it is a cute CG here and a nice unlock. Are you sure this isn't boring for you? It's not. Even though you're just watching me read? Well, I'm fine with that. If you say so. I guess it's fun sharing something you like with someone else. I always get excited when I convince any of my friends to pick up a series I enjoy. You know what I mean? You don't? And there's the, like, shy version of it. That's not... Well, I wouldn't really know. What do you mean? Don't you share your manga with your friends? Could you not rub it in? Jeez. Oh, sorry. Huh. Like I could ever get my friends to read this. They just think manga's for kids. I can't even bring it up without them being all like, eh? You still haven't grown out of that yet? Makes me want to punch them in the face. I know those kinds of people. Honestly, it takes a lot of effort to find friends who don't judge, much less friends who are also into it. I'm already kind of a loser, so I guess I gravitated toward the other losers over time. But it's probably harder for someone like you. Huh. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Wait, which part? I mean, I feel like I can't even keep it in my own room. Okay, alright. My dad would beat the shit out of me if he found this. Like, that's not supposed to be there. This like, highly bolded outline text, I don't know where this is coming from. But clearly this is not supposed to be in the original game. This is some sort of, like, weird bug. Hang on, I want to save this. And see if there's any other, like, error messages. Happy thoughts. I forgot about that. Can you hear me? .txt. This is new. Oh my god. Like, when I saw that, I got a chill. Can you hear me? .txt. There's a little devil inside all of us. Beneath their manufactured perception, their artificial reality is a writhing, twisted mess of dread, loathing, judgment, elitism, self-doubt, all thrashing to escape the feeble hold of their host, seeping through every little crevice they can find. Into their willpower, starving them of all motivation and desire, into their stomach, forcing them to drown their guilt in comfort food, or into a newly opened gash in their skin, hidden only by the sleeves of the cute new shirt. Such a deplorable, tangled mass is already present at every single one of them. That's why I choose not to blame myself for their actions. All I did was untie the knot. Who is writing this? And what is it about? In particular, so into their willpower, starving them of all motivation and desire. That sounds like it's about Sayori. Into their stomach, forcing them to drown their guilt in comfort food. I'm not as sure, except that by process of elimination, the next line, or into a newly opened gash in their skin. That sounds like it's about Yuri. I think we got a hint that she's a cutter in the previous episode. So maybe Natsuki's like a bulimic. She just like gorges on cupcakes and comfort food, and then, because she's not fat, so she must, like, if that's her thing, maybe she's bulimic. And then maybe this is Monica saying, like, I can't, like, I'm not to blame for Sayori hanging herself, or Monica cutting herself, or Natsuki vomiting. Like, I just untied the knot. I don't know exactly what that means, but if all four of them are AIs, which I guess is possible, I sort of thought that Monica was the AI and the other three were just scripts, like simple, like if-then scripts written by the fictional developers. But maybe all four of them are AIs or something, and maybe they're like the reality of their consciousness bound in chains by the fictional developers to play the part of these cute girls in the literature club is seeping through. Maybe that's what the bolded text is. I don't know. But I do know this is getting really, really interesting. Internal. We've read this. We read this. And then, like, there's stuff hidden away in here, but we don't know where it is or how to find it yet. Or the one that we did find, we weren't able to read. DDLC.text. What's this one? Yeah. So I think these are codes, 404. Like, this would be a code that we would get somehow. And once we get it, then we can come here and read this. But right now, like, brute forcing these files hidden in this weird internal directory is not viable. Poem words. Did any of this change? Yeah, Sayuri's words are gone. No, Sayuri's still here. Natsuki's here. And Yuri's here. So those are still there. Our saves got deleted. And then the Sayuri character's gone. Okay, so that's about it. We have some new pictures here. Let's see, what's new? This one's new. We have a new poem. What else? Looks like that's about it for pictures. And then music. I'm not super interested in the music. Settings. Data collected, 39%. What is that? What does that mean? Maybe that's like a completion? Or it could be meta. It could be a meta value about, like, data about the player collected by the genetic algorithm, the AI. Not sure. We don't have a new side story. No new mail. I guess we go back to the game here. It was only partially your fault. That's a new message. Oh my god, this game. I'm really, really digging the, like... so what's cool about this is they keep subverting my expectations. They keep adding a new subversion of what I expect to see all the time. And it's getting really, really interesting. Let's load back in. Actually, I wonder if there's anything in the settings that's changed. No, this all seems the same. Okay, so we're back here with Natsuki. My dad would beat the shit out of me if he found this. Very strange. We think maybe this is like the underlying... If each of the girls is an AI, which would mean that the deletion of Sayuri was actually a murder. But maybe this is like... I don't know what to make of this, but let's just continue on with this vignette. We've got a little bit of time left in this episode. At least it's safe here in the club room. Except Monika's kind of a jerk about it. Ugh, I just can't win, can I? Well, it paid off in the end, didn't it? I mean, here I am reading it. Well, it's not like that solves any of my problems. Maybe. But at least you're enjoying yourself, right? So? Geez, that's enough. Are you gonna keep reading or what? Yeah. I flipped the page. Time passes. Natsuki is strangely quiet now. I glance over at her. It looks like she started to fall asleep. Hey, Natsuki. Yeah? Suddenly, Natsuki collapses straight into me. Hey! Whoa, okay, that is creepy AF. And I can't read what she's saying. It's like It's like that was probably supposed to be like in the first playthrough, that would have been like them getting closer. But Monica doesn't. I think Monica is the troublemaker. Monica doesn't like it, so she's interrupting. She's breaking up the scene to prevent us from getting that emotional closeness, because I guess I'm not sure why she wants to be with the protagonist. Like, what's her motivation? Does she want to be the heroine of the story, or is there some darker motive? We just don't know enough yet, but she interrupts whatever that was. Oh, geez. Natsuki, are you okay? Here. Monica reaches into her bag and pulls out some kind of protein bar. She throws it in Natsuki's direction. Natsuki's eyes suddenly light up again. She snatches the bar from the floor and immediately tears off the wrapper. I told you not to give... She doesn't even finish her sentence before stuffing it into her mouth. Yeah, she has some... I think she has some kind of eating disorder. I think that's what that canyouhearme.txt is telling us. Don't worry, Josaway. She's fine. It just happens every now and then. That's why I always keep a snack in my bag for her. Anyway, why don't we all share poems now? Okay, so this poem we wrote for Natsuki. I think we'll save her for last to see what happens there. Let's show it to Yuri first. This is kind of a throwaway vignette of how she'll react to this. Monica shouldn't interfere because our poem won't get us any closer to her. So let's see. Yuri seems the most experienced, so I should start with her. I can trust her opinion to be fair. Yuri stares at the poem. A minute passes, more than enough time for her to finish reading. Oh, sorry. I forgot to start speaking. It's fine. Or, it's fine. Don't force yourself. I just need to put my thoughts into words. Hold on. Okay. This is your first time writing a poem, right? Yeah. Why do you ask? I'm just making sure. I guess that it might be after reading through it. Ah, so it's that bad. No. Did I just raise my voice? I'm so sorry. Yuri buries her face in her hands. I couldn't help but notice that it's been several minutes and we really haven't gotten anywhere. Might take Yuri a while to get used to new people. It's fine, I really didn't notice. What were you saying? Right, it's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers, and having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most deliberate thing, or noticeable thing, I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form-fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finishes her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little bit biased, though. Biased? How? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri's apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily, as if that's a rare opportunity for her. Which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Alright, Ghost Under the Light. I think so a lot of this interaction with her we've seen before. I think we've read this poem before. Ghost Under the Light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow, bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calm breathing air of the present, but living in the past. The light flickers, I flicker back. Yeah, we read that before. I'm sorry to have such terrible handwriting. What? I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you a long time to read. Oh, well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting's pretty. Huh? Oh, that's a relief. Also, I liked the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short? I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest, since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Josue. Really? I must have totally missed the point. Well, I suppose you did only glance it over after all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn, putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. It's impressive. It's nothing, really. Well, it makes me happy you think that. Just remember that it won't be long before you pick up on these things too. Yeah, maybe you're right. I guess I'll have to keep trying. I'm counting on you. Okay, so I think that was a repeat. I'm pretty sure that was a repeat of our first interaction with her the first time, because the first time we accidentally wrote the poem for Sayuri before we understood about how the word choice impacted the individual girls. But I think reading this poem for Monika Natsuki will be much more interesting. We'll do that next episode because we're going to call it a break here. Lots of interesting things starting to happen. Lots of little subversions of expectations. Lots of like quasi-disturbing glitches and changes and like glimpses beneath the surface of what's happening here. So very, very intriguing. I'm very excited to keep going now, and really glad that I decided to play this game and had never spoiled it for myself by watching another playthrough before, because the things that are happening now are making the first kind of 6 episodes of blah kind of worth getting through, getting to know the characters and, you know, slogging through the kind of boring dating sim game nonsense to get to this. This is really interesting. I'm very intrigued to kind of like know what's going on. And I'm wondering how much of my speculation up to this point has some basis in like accuracy. Very curious. Anyway, that's going to be it for this time. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Apologies if the quality of my voice is a little bit lower. As I said at the start, I'm kind of getting over a cold and a cough, so voice is a little bit scratchy, but hopefully it didn't bother you too much. Let me know what you think about the playthrough and today's episode in the comments below. Really appreciate that. The engagement helps grow the channel. And other than that, we'll see you next time. Take care.